Hi everyone, it's Karen here for Artists Live, and I'm going to be altering this metal wing set. I was given to me by a good friend, Kim, who is today came to the live show. And but if you're watching this after the live show and you're watching the recording, then the links to all the products are below in the description area. And this is how she gave it to me a while back. And the reason why I didn't alter it until now is because the wings are just so beautiful that I really did not know what to do with it, and I didn't want to ruin the beauty of these wings. However, I got an idea and I just rolled with it, and I wanted to this show basically is going to be more about how to use the patina effect and the rust paste to alter anything. So I'm going to be altering these wings. These wings are they're called Metal Angel wings by Salvaged, and this is the back of them, which is really nice, and this is, you can hang it. So Kim, since you gave me this, then you get to have it after one of them. After the show, she gets to keep one of them. She gave me this as a gift, so one for you, one for me. So let's get started. So I'm going to basically alter it. The first thing I did is created, this centerpiece. And this is a cool way to create it. I'll show you what I used. Hi, Monica. Okay, so I use this. This is, oh God, I always forget the name of it. Plaster, yeah, Plaster. Okay, I bought this once at Amazon. Yasmin will put the link, or the links will be below in the description area. And it's really fun to use. It's kind of what they used to use to cast, when you broke your arm back in the days. Now they have more sophisticated stuff. But you see, it's very soft. And I'll show you. It has has a whitish powder on it. And I'm going to just cut strips of it to create the circle. Okay, see how it has a powder to it? So I don't know if you can see all the powder on my table. It's a really fun medium to use. You can create really nice textures with it, so I like using it. Okay, so the way this works, I'm sure you've used it before or have seen it used before. You just wet it with a little bit of water. Okay, and then then it becomes soft. I think it needs a little bit more water. I'll do the other side. Then it becomes soft, and you can basically do whatever you want with it. And when you finish with it, it basically will turn up the same way, it will stay the way that you like it. So if you go like that, it will stay like that. And it will be kind of it'll be white. They look kind of like gauze strips, but they're not. I don't want to wet it too much, because then what will happen is it will take longer to dry. Okay, I have some water to absorb here. So okie, and let's measure it out to make sure that it is enough. I think I might have done it a little bit thicker. Let's see, I'm going to measure with no, I need it a little bit bigger, so I'm going to cut a little bit more of it. And it feels like when you wet it, it kind of sticks together. But if it's dry, it doesn't stick as well. Hi, Jimena. How are you? Okay, hold on. Let me just put some more. So again, I'm going to take out some more from the bag. And let's cut a little bit more of this. So you know me, I like working with different things. I always like experimenting with different things. That's just me. I think most of us now in the crafty world, we love experimenting. So that's nice. Oh, I love how soft it is. You see how I can just move it? And it creates really nice texture. You could use this like, you know, to make a dress or just, I mean, a dress. I meant to see like, you know, something, some kind of altered doll dress, not for yourself dress. Okay, hold on. I think this will be the right size. Okay, so you see I want to kind of create this cool texture. You can still, it's still wet, so you can move it. You can make a flower out of this. This almost looks like a flower. So this is the center of it. Okay, and then hold on, let me clean this mess. So this is, and it easily dries, which is nice, and it dries quickly even if it's air dried. The next thing I did is I took, I'm gonna move the wings a little bit. I took some wire. This is like leftover Prima wire, just, you know, their typical wire. I don't know, I think I got this like when I was on their design team way back then, and I still have not used it all because they give it to me in a clamp like this. I remember they just had just come out. So okay, so I did, and I went and I did another little circle on top, and okay, kind of created some more texture, right? So you know me and my texture. Hold on. So the nice thing about this is that I want to let this kind of dry in the on the wings while I alter them all around. Okay, so I'm going to use some heavy gel. So I'm going to use, oh no, not heavy gel. I actually can use the 3D gel. Doesn't really matter. You can use heavy gel or the 3D gel. And all I want to do is just kind of, this one won't, like, I mean, this is not part of the plaster, so it's not going to stick that well. You need to kind of help it stick. Okay, so there's that. And there we go. And I think a little bit here too. Okay, good. And then I'm going to take my wings back, and I'm going to put a bunch of this in the back. Maybe more like here, so I know exactly where I want it to stick. And this is going to be the center where I'm going to place the ward after. So I mean, like I said, like there it is. So you can use this for anything basically, like this plaster thing. I really like, because it's easily shaped into anything and you can make whatever you want. So, oh hi Petra. So, okay, so this is the beginning, and now we're going to alter the actual wings with the texture paste. Yay! Okay, so we have the original texture paste, which is the rust paste, or this is the box. It comes in 3 different colors. Somehow the third color has disappeared on me, but it's okay because it's not using it today. So it comes in the red, the brown, and it also has a gold color. Somewhere I have to find it or open a new one. So there is the 2 of those. So this is the original one, which I loved and used in a lot of projects, especially on Ustream. And then we have the new one, which is the new Patina effect paste, and this comes in 3 colors as well. It comes in, let me get it out, in the turquoise, The blue, they call it blue. I mean, it looks turquoise to me, but it comes in the mint green, which is a beautiful color. And it comes in the brass, which is a kind of a more of a shiny. So these two will have more of a texture grid to it, but this one has a metallic thing. So I'm going to be using basically all of these today, and I'm debating whether or not to put gloves on. Okay, hold on. I'm going to get a paintbrush. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to grab the paste, the brass paste. Now, this is mainly, there's no really a huge technique curve or learning curve with this. I mean, you just have to experiment and see what you like. So for example, if you see my, like, depending on like the project, you might want to be heavy on certain things and others. So this one is heavier on the red and the brown, and also has some of the turquoise. So I go back and forth. I want to see if I will make my wings today a little bit more, a bit lighter. So I'm gonna play around. So I'm gonna be doing it as I'm doing it with you. So that's the fun part. And make sure I'm in the frame. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the brass. And actually, no, before I do that, let me just give a little bit of a dry. Make this a little bit drier, so I could actually add the paste and the paints and the metallic paints. And of course, we will be using the waxes after, the amazing new waxes by Prima Marketing from Finnabair. They're called Alchemy waxes, and I'll show you different colors. Another thing that I am having is I am giving away one of the waxes, which you'll see later. I'm having a couple of giveaways on my blog, so please visit my blog if you want to like enter any of them. There's some really good prizes. One of them is one of these waxes, one of these, which is my favorite. This is the actual wax that I'm giving away. Okay, it's the vintage gold. It's my favorite one. And yeah, the links are below, or right now if you're live, then you can watch it. Okay, so I'm gonna be taking this brass color, the effect, and I'm gonna just kind of lightly brush it. I am covering most of it, but not all of it, just in certain areas, because I want it when I am adding the other products. I want to make sure that this will definitely show underneath, and I will again use it also on top. So what the nice thing about these rust pastes or the patina pastes is, or all the pastes that I'm using today, is that you can combine them together and create really nice effects. And that's what's nice about this. You create these really cool rusted kind of look effect, and that's why I like that's what I like about these. Okay, so let me just, I want to add a little bit of this color. Okay, so there, you saw not all of it. I covered most of it, but not all of it. Okay, then I want to use the turquoise. So why am I putting the turquoise and the metal first and the brass first? Because when I'm going to rust, usually in a rusted kind of look, you know, and like a vintage or antique look, you do have those oxidized components kind of sneaking out from underneath the rusted areas. So that's basically what I'm achieving. If I'm putting this as the bottom layer, then what's going to happen is that when I put the other layers on top, these will peek through and will show off. It will show up in the actual surface. And yes, Yasmin is just saying that if you join us here, you can also enter to win these art sleeves that I have. Yasmin is giving them away. So that's another give. There's a lot of giveaways going on everywhere. So it's worth to look around. I was having, it's my blog's anniversary this month, the 10th. I've been blogging for, I guess, 10 years. Not 10 years. What am I talking about? Since March 10th, not 10 years, 6 years. Since 2011. And so I'm giving away a couple of good prices. Plus, I'm also having a different giveaway, and that is I'm giving away a couple of collections from sponsors. From the Magia Design sponsoring a couple of collections, and then Dress My Crafts, which I don't know if you've seen some of the projects that I've been doing lately with the sequins and the art stones, which is my new favorite technique now. So I'm giving some of those away as well. So check out my blog so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll put all the links below after. Okay, so you see how I'm covering in certain areas, the blue in certain areas, just so I can get that blue peeking from underneath afterwards. I'm going to now start adding the darker colors, and this mint green I'm going to leave towards the end, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is, yes, I see that I'm not always washing between applications because they're mixing together, and I usually use them all together. I'm not so worried about cross-contaminating, but if you are, then definitely wash your paintbrushes in between. Okay, so the nice thing about this, the dark brown rust paste, is that it's very gritty, and it gives, oops, I hope it didn't move anything. It gives a really gritty kind of effect, which I like a lot. Oops. So again, I don't want to add too much of this. I want to be able to have some of the blue peeking through. If I add too much of this, it will take away from the rust and from the pattern. You see, I feel like if I put too much, it takes away from the pattern that I'm using. Okay, so sorry, I'm just moving my, okay, so, hi Elaine, good morning. Sorry Elaine, I think times have changed. You missed last week, so you didn't know. Our clocks have changed, but yours haven't. So I'm not on early. On time, but we had like in spring, this always happens, somebody gets confused with the times. Last week Yasmin ended up starting way later because of the same reason. The daylight saving times kind of makes everybody crazy here, so sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to continue talking about the application of this. So I'm just putting it in certain areas, so not everywhere, because as you can see, I want those other colors to kind of peek through. So, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, so now I am going to wash. This is the dark one, and I don't want such darkness on my paintbrushes. But Elaine, you haven't missed much. I just show the wings, how they look before, and you can look back and see that after. So you just missed how I did this. The rest is just applying these are just wings that I bought. So, okay, hold on. Just cleaning up underneath. Okay, so now we're gonna add the red. This is the rust paste, but this is the red one, the red colored one. And I'm going to use a different paintbrush, I think, because this one is too dirty. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is actually my favorite color out of all of them. This is what, for me, looks the most rusty out of everything. But when it combines nicely with the dark brown and the blue, it looks so good. So what I like is this red rust, which is so nice, when it combines with the blue, it, especially if the things are still wet, which is what you want, it gives it, I'll show, I don't know if I can see, oops, right there, it kind of gives a really nice kind of hue of green, teal, when it's combined together. So as you can see, a lot of the blue has been covered, right? But you still have it peeking out from certain areas. And I will add some more blue because, as you can see, for me it's not enough. So what I end up doing is I end up playing back and forth. Let me turn these around because I think I'm missing out some areas here. So I go back and forth between the rust paste and the patina effect because I really feel like you need a combination of all of them to create that effect that you like, that I like so much. Okay, so let me see. I want to get a different brush. I want a different, maybe this one. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue again. Okay, and this time with a smaller brush. So in certain areas, and now it's beautiful. It's combining with that red. So you do have the peeking underneath, but you also have it rusted on top, which is really nice. You can do both, and they both look gorgeous. Okay. I love how gritty also this paste is. Like you can feel the grittiness in it. And I will have to clean this really well. Nice thing about this mat, I just got this mat recently. It's the Ken Oliver mat. I think I put it up above in the I'll add it to the description area if people want to hear about it. And these brushes, I actually didn't add these brushes as part of the links, but I should if people want to use these. You know what? Some of them are Finnabair, some of them are not. This is the thing from the dollar store, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm horrible at keeping my brushes clean. I'm not really good at them. So that's why I don't try not to buy too expensive of a brush, especially not for the mixed media part of it. So as you can see, I'm adding some here and there, just so, I don't know if you guys have played with this paste, but it's really fantastic. Oh, I love it. And this one is coming out. The nice thing about no two pieces are alike, which is what's nice about it. I think it's time to add the mint green. Yay. Okay. Hold on, I still have a little bit of blue here. Let's kind of get it off my paintbrush because otherwise it will really contaminate. And it's contaminating it, but okay. So I really like this. Gives it like a really light effect. If you see Finn's, she actually did one, and this was the most prominent color, and I love how it turned out, but somehow I find it so light, it doesn't give me that rust effect the way I like it, so I end up changing it after. Although I'm liking this one now, it's looking really good, so I don't know. You know, I go back and forth between, this is too much, what I like and and my taste changes as I go. So unfortunately so somebody's asking what do I use to clean these brushes. So I unfortunately only use water and I clean it really, really well, but as I said, I'm terrible at cleaning things. I would suggest maybe using soap, or if anything, I mean, if you want to go stronger, then I'm sure there's some cleaners out there that will clean these really well. Or the other suggestion is buying cheap brushes that are only used for these type of materials that you don't mind that they will get basically dirty from, or you know what I mean? You can just always buy a new one if that's the case. Okay, I put too much here. Okay, so you see now if you look at this, for me, the color now it's missing what? It's missing red. So you see I go back and forth until I find the combo that I like. So I find that it's missing red. For me, it's not rusted if it's not red. So I go back and forth between them. You see? So here's my red paintbrush, which I did before. I tried before. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, you see, I'm a red kind of person, so this is my problem. No, I'm not a red, actually. I like blue more, but I find that it needs, when I'm doing a really small dry brush, because I don't want a lot of red, I just want a little bit of red to kind of peek through, okay? I think that's good. So I'm going back and forth, you see, I go back and forth between the different ones, the different mediums, because you really want to be able to have those tones. I'm just washing my paintbrush. You want to be able to have those tones in between, right? And you can't have that if you're just, what do you call it? If you're just going to just use one color, right? So that's why. Just want to make sure nobody's messaging me. Okay, no, it's not you, Yasmin, right? Messaging me. Okay, so just checking to make sure. Okay, no, that's fine. So I really love the combination of both the raspberries and the patina effect. So the two of them together for me is the best combination. So before Finnabair came out with the raspberries, what I used to do is I used to basically use some turquoise acrylic paint and basically just combine that with the rust paste which came out the year before. So you see that, like, I just keep on working until I am happy with the results. And I'll get this closer so you can see, hopefully. Let's see. How close can you get? Is it good? It's too dark, but you know, to get the idea. So that's basically what I like to do, is just continue to work until I'm happy with the results, which I think I am right now. You see, I like that it's a little bit rusted here, a little bit there, just maybe a little bit of blue over here. Yeah, because now I'm going to be adding the gold, which is the wax, which is really nice. Hold on, no, I think I still need blue. You see, I look at it here and it looks good, but when I look at it on the computer, it doesn't. So that means that sometimes I find that when I look at when I'm doing a video or like a show and I look at the computer, I can see it much clearer than when I see it right in front of me. Not sure why that is, but I find that that's helpful for me to see where things are missing, if they're missing anything. And I think it needs to go here a little bit more. I think it turned out a little bit more oxidized than the other one. My other one was a little bit more on the reddish side, and this is more on the bluish side, but it's still nice. So here's the other one, but I still have not added the so this is the original. It's hard to see. It looks it's original. This is the blue one. Okay, so hold on, let me just clean up here this mess so I can get out my waxes and be able to work with them. Okay, so just 1 second. Just want to close everything. And look how quickly it dried. Like this is, I mean, we just wet from the paste, but the actual plaster dried really quickly, which is nice. Okay. Oops. Oh, and you know what? Actually, before I finish, I want to add a little bit more of the brass. Just realized now that I must have done that also on top. Let me get another paintbrush that is clean. Hold on. This is the only problem with my paintbrushes, that they end up not being so clean, and then I can't use them. So I'm going to just kind of dry brush this a little bit. I just want a little bit of this brass color that kind of got hidden underneath. It gives it a nice shine, as you can see. And it's really important to dry brush it, so I'm trying to get off as much as I can off my brush, so I can just lightly brush it on onto the wings. The trick with dry brushing is doing this really fast movement, so that the actual brush barely touches the actual project. Because if it touches it too much, then you end up with too much of that color that you probably didn't want. Okay, there we go. So I just added a little bit of that brass, which gave it a really nice highlight. And hold on now. I want to clean this up. And let's see if I can show off how good it cleans up. So hold on. Because the whole point of this is that it cleans up really nicely. And it does. Nice. Haven't used these pastes. I made this project before I got this mat, which I recently just bought. So I'm excited that it cleans so nicely. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to get the wipes to come out. And oops, I see something here. Okay, there we go. Okay, I mean, there's still stuff to clean here, but I just want to get going. I don't need to show all this cleaning part on this. So I'm going to just give it a quick dry, just because when I put the waxes, I wanted it to be completely dry so nothing transfers. And so basically, look, it's basically dried. The plaster dries really, really quickly. Now, I don't know if any of you have tried these waxes. Maybe some of you have. The new waxes by Prima, Finnabair. I'll show them to you now. Okay. So, as I said, my favorite is, oh, this is white gold. No, my favorite is vintage gold, which I have to take out. I just realized I took the wrong one out. White gold is really nice too, but my favorite is vintage gold. Hold on, I'm looking for it. Where is it? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Vintage gold. They have some really nice ones, like aged brass and bronze. So these are really nice also too. You could use, but my favorite is the vintage gold and the rich copper. Those are the two favorite ones. And I'm going to be using the vintage gold. And as I said, that's the one I'm giving away on my blog. So people use these in different way. So this is how it is. I used it last time as well. in another one of my projects. My favorite way of using this, and let's see, I need some more light here. My favorite way is using my fingers. Some people use a stipple brush or a regular brush. I just really love using my finger for this. I find I get the most control out of it. And this is what I'm going to use. And I want to see if, oh yeah, you can see, actually it shows really well. Oops, you see that is too much. If I put too much, you can remove it right away. Or you might have to, okay, there we go. If you do remove right away, you can, otherwise it's permanent. So if I have to be careful not to have too much on your finger, I want to kind of highlight all the texture everywhere. And they smell so good, I have to say, they smell really, really good. So I'm impressed with how like this is. And here I'm gonna show you. All right, let's see if I can do it from close up so you can actually really see how nicely it goes. Okay. Is it harder for me to do it this way? But you can really see the nice texture it gives. Beautiful highlights. It's just makes it so nice. Okay, let me focus now. Okay, so I'm gonna do the rest of the other side. And I think it's out of focus now. I don't know why. I tried to get it in focus and now it's not working. I'm sorry. This is, fast forward this part after if you're actually watching this live, not live. I don't know. It looks as if it's not in focus to me. On the, oh, now it is. Okay, good. So I'm using this and I'm gonna add rich copper, which is another one of the waxes. It's a little bit more of a reddish tone because I want to give that reddish tone to these wings as well, right? These didn't come out as reddish as the other ones, but it's still nice to do. And okay, see, I put too much wax here. Okay, let's see. So now, oh, I really like this. Okay, good. So now I'm going to put some of the rich copper. And I think that's the one I used, yeah. So this is rich copper. It's called, it's a Metallique wax. So it's the same as the other kind. There's 3 different types of waxes. There's the Metallique wax, which are like metallic in color. Then there's the Opal Magic, which kind of change colors depending on what you use them on. And then there is the Antique Brilliance, which kind of have a brown undertone inside of them, and they're really good for antiquing things. So you might not be able to see what I'm doing, like in the sense of the red, because there's so much red on it already. But it really gives it a really nice reddish tone, and I want to see. It helps. Everything like really helps to, when you're mixing all these products together, to get these different highlights in the actual project. So I'm trying not to use it everywhere because I still want the gold to show, but I want those reddish kind of highlights on top. So you can see there's the reddish right there that I just added, and the gold. The red looks really nice on it as well, so I try to put it on. Okay, so there's the wings, which I really, really, really like. Okay, and then I took one of the words. Now this is just wooden words that I found at Michael's, and let me just find where I put what I did with them. They're just wooden cut words. I brought them with, oh, there they are. So these are different than the other ones. They're, you know what, they sell them at Michael's for like $1.50. They're very cheap. So I thought the other one has Inspire on it. Maybe this one should be Journey. Yeah, that's nice. So just so to change it a little bit. Okay. And basically where the wings can take you on a journey. So that's nice. And what I did last is I used the, where is it? Oh, here it is. This is the new Prima Finnabair Art Alchemy acrylic paint. It's called Sparks. This one is called Dragon's Eye because the color reminds you of a dragon's eye, I guess. It reminded Finnabair of that. It's a really sparkly color. Really, really nice. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the word and also add a few more highlights onto this. Actually, before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this just a little bit with the rich copper. Just want to put like an undertone underneath it. It's not as nice. It doesn't go as nice on wood. It goes better on the mediums. But I'm just putting this so like when I add the paint, it looks a bit darker. So I'm just doing this just as a base instead of doing gesso. Okay. I mean, it still looks really nice, don't get me wrong, but it kind of will get lost if it's the same color as what I have underneath. So you can use more wax, almost like paint, and it still looks really nice. There you go. You see, it colors it really nicely. But I want to add the Dragon's Eye Sparks on it. Hi, Alina. Okay. So this is, I'm just going to use a little bit of what I have on the lid. Okay, just to kind of paint this. And you notice that I use my fingers a lot to do things. That's just me. You don't have to. You could wear gloves. Don't need to do what I do. It's probably not so good for me. But there we go. This looks nice. And what I want to do is add a little bit of these as highlights. I'm not even sure you can see that much right now. Now these are really sparkly, so they really show up nicely. Oops, nicely on the background. Let me move this. So we'll add it after. I think I've added too much here. So between the sparks, I mean, could you do the same thing? It's a different type of technique. I mean, the sparks are really shiny, where the metallic waxes are a little bit more dull than the sparks, but still have a metallic effect. So this is more like a sparkly effect, while the waxes give like a metallic. Sorry, I mean to say a metallic effect. Yeah, as opposed to sparkly. These are really sparkly and nice, and I really like them. So let me see some here. I think I might add another coat to the words. I'm waiting for it to kind of dry up, and then I will add another one. So you can see, I mean, these turned out completely different than the other one that I made before. So you never know what you're gonna get, right? Because it doesn't always apply. You cannot exactly mimic the application of paste. So, Okay, let's go back on this. And I guess I'll use my fingers again. You don't have to. And create, oops, am I not in the... Oh, I really like that. Yeah, see, now it's really standing out, which is nice. Okay, so let me close this. And I want to wipe my hands from the dirt. So you can see all the different colors. So you can see here the blue, turquoise blue, and the red copper, and the brown, and you can see the sparks, and also the red rust paste, and even in between you see a little bit of the mint. So everything together really gives you that rusted look, which is what you're looking at. I'm looking to do, right? So now I'm just going to use my 3D gel again, and I'm going to glue the word. My finger yet again. Let's see where it's going to touch. Yeah. I think it needs a little bit more. Okay, now at least I know where it's kind of touching, so I can put it on those spots. Okay, good. And then I'm going to just clean it up. So whenever I put it on, although the gel dries clear, I somehow always clean it up, because then you'll get these like clumps. Always, but you could get like these clear clumps, and I really don't want. So on the places where you don't need it, it's not necessary for it to be seen. And what I do, oops, I need to put a little bit more of this paint on. I just rubbed off when I was fiddling with it, which actually looks really nice, but that's not my intention. Okay, so hold on, I just want to, for a second, just paint this again. This was kind of came off. Okay, good. And then I'm just gonna get in there a little bit, and I'm gonna get into the areas where I saw the gel and create some more texture. So here, actually, I'm going to go a little bit around. I want to make kind of a circle around, because it will define the word a little bit better. Let's see. Yeah, I really like that. So let me just bring both of them, and you'll see how, like, the nice thing about these pastes is that you can create two different projects out of the same thing. Oops, here it goes. Here's the two of them, and yeah, they're similar, but they don't look similar when you look at them in person. It's funny enough, they look different. I think this is more reddish in tone. The light is kind of shining. Let me like right on it, and this is more of like a golden in tone. So those are the two, Inspire and Journey. So these are the two that I made, and because my friend Kim was the one who gave these to me, she's getting one of these. She can choose which one of the two she wants. I just want to thank everybody for coming today, and please join us next week as oh gosh, I think it's Heather next week. Oh, somebody help me. I'm not sure. Well, join us next week for another show. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming, and have a fantastic week. I hope this Monday morning it inspired you for the rest of the week, and you can, not morning, afternoon, and you can just continue on and get inspired the whole week through. I don't know if I'm making sense or not, but have a wonderful week either way. Okay, bye.